Live streaming is on.
And now I can see here, there's a live streaming link. So I copy this and I just open this up in a browser. And you can see, I'll mute this here. Let's see. So I'm going to mute you here because I'm hearing some audio. There we go. So you have live streaming where there's no limit to how many people can view an ongoing meeting live. That's essentially a useful tool. But once again, if you see now, I have quite a few things going on. I have a couple meetings. I have a live stream. People can chat in the live stream, and there's upvotes and downvotes and so on, all kinds of things in here. But it's basically a YouTube video of what you're doing on the screen. So if people are not, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, that can be made private or like unlisted, so people could get there only with the link.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's really it. So you have a ton of features. It's not down the line, it's going to be exactly what you want to do with a click or two. But today it's, there's pieces all over the place that you have to sort of work with if you wanted to use this. That being said, everything that we've seen so far is in the most standard package. So even if you don't want to use it, it's not like you're paying anything extra for it. If you wanted to, it's just available.
One thing that I'm really liking is that with one license you can be in multiple meetings, and that is definitely a concern. So I think that's good. One thing I just wanted to kind of bring up though is because I'm a troublemaker. I saw your 8x8.vc/123. So I wanted to see if I just opened it, I was able to join with no problem. Is there anything to prevent people from just getting into a meeting?
Yeah, there's actually very high level of security you can put in there. First of all, you have a basic passcode you can put in, so it will ask you for a passcode for it. And then you also have end-to-end encryption, so it gets really tough to join. I mean, people would have to spend hours or months trying to hack a meeting like this. There's that.
I know you set up this room really quick, so you didn't put any kind of settings in, and I was like, well, if I can just copy the URL and jump in, that doesn't seem very secure. But that's because you hadn't put any kind of restrictions on that page that meeting that you opened.
That's right. 8x8.vc / anything you want to put in there is just basically out there as a free video conferencing bridge for those that want to use it. But then users get their own bridge. As I mentioned, there's 3 levels of security essentially. One of which is, even though everyone gets their own meeting space, each meeting has a unique ID at the end with a random string at the end. So even if you know my name, you can't join my meeting unless you know the ID here. In addition to that, then we have the passcode, we have the end-to-end encryption. So that's sort of a few things you can do there. Okay. And another thing you can do, and we've spent a lot of time on this here, but I do have end-to-end, what was that? Not end-to-end. Let's go here in the admin console.
Yeah, I definitely want to see this.
So there's a lot of features here. If I start with the meetings, I have meetings in here. I have the ability to customize my meeting setup. For example, I can brand my meetings. Let's say I have some images in here. And that's a 7-Eleven branded meeting now. So I have the ability to do something like that. I have spaces are basically my conference room phones or conference room devices that I can set up. I have access to analytics for all my meetings as well. This is beta. I haven't come in here more than once. So we'll take a look at this a little later. But it's essentially going to give you information on all the meetings you've had or any employee has had, the participants, and if anything was recorded or not. It's taken some time, so I'll move on over to some other things. I do have another call at 11.
Sorry, from that analytics page, is that where the recordings are also going to be stored? So like as an admin, I would be able to go in and say, like, here's all of our recordings, here's all our call log, or not our call logs, but our transcriptions. Would that all be kind of kept in one place, or is that kept in separate recordings?
It will be kept separately at this time. I need to check a little more on that as well.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
Just take a note of that.
Sure.
But you do have, information as to like feedback. Was it an excellent meeting, acceptable, dissatisfactory? Was the average conferencing participants, on average, how many participants are you having, or what type of a conference are you having? What is the connection quality of all the folks that are joining your meetings? So there are quite a few metrics that we're actually picking up on these video conferences as well. And then the listings would essentially show you all the conferences that you have. And I need to play around with this a little bit. Once again, I haven't used this as much, so I can't talk to it a lot. But I can send you some notes at the end of the call, or maybe some video of what it looks like as well once I set it up. In the admin side, though, you have quite a few settings. Everything you need to do to control your system, entire communication system, is right here. You have user-related settings. All the phone numbers that you own will be in this tab. If you're using physical phone, you're just adding the device model to the system right here. So if I'm using a Polycom or Cisco or Yealing or Panasonic, I just add that model, and my system knows now that in my offices, these are the phones that I'm using. And the desk phones are plug and play. In the users tab, if I wanted to, let's say, create a user, let's say Bilbo Baggins is an employee that I want to set up. All I have to do is start by entering Bilbo's basic information, name, email address, give Bilbo a username. I can add some additional details in here, like job title, department, that can help me with the searches that I do in the app. But I do have to give Bilbo a user license. An X2 license, in our case, would have everything that we have seen so far. You have voice basic settings where you give them their work phone number, you give them their extension number, and if you already told the system what offices what phones you're using, you just have to choose the model from here. If you have multiple models that you're using in the office, you might have a list, but if not, you just have one or two options. You choose the model and you can type in a MAC address. And a desk phone, if you turn it upside down, there will be a sticker on the back with the MAC address on it. You just type that number letter combination in and you hit save. And that's all you need to do to have a phone up and running. So once you hit save, your physical phone starts up with the user settings in place. Bilbo here also gets an email with his username in it asking him to set up a password. And now Bilbo can log into the applications. So these couple minutes of filling this much information is all it takes to set someone up. You can use bulk upload to upload everyone at the same time if you wanted to, or make changes to everyone at the same time using bulk edit. And if I once again go into Bilbo's profile, there's a few other settings in here.
While you're messing with that, one question I'm thinking. So, me personally, I don't like phones. Like with everybody carrying cell phones around in their pocket, I see no reason for desktop phones. But one thing that I'm thinking about is if we are in the office, it's nice to have a general line, and then then you choose your extension to send. Otherwise, people have, someone calling from the outside has to look at 500 different phone numbers to find what they're looking for. These extensions, can these be set up just to forward directly to your phone too, or like a cell phone as well? Like if we had one also number, right? Everybody calls into this number, but then you choose the extension of the user, that still forwards to their cell phone.
So there's a few ways you can do that. Here is an example. I have an auto attendant feature that I can set up, which can just automate that process a little bit. So when people call in to my main phone number, just that one phone number, the system just checks for your schedule first, your open hours, your closed hours, and accordingly, it's going to present the right option. So if you're open, you can say, thank you for calling our company. If you know your party's extension, dial it, press pound. So we can select that option to look up the company either give people the option to look up the directory so they can go through the names. But if you have a lot of phone numbers and names in there, maybe if you know your party's name, please dial the first 4 letters and hit pound. Or if you know your party's extension, dial it, press pound. So you can reach it that way. Or if folks don't have the application on their phone or don't have it logged in or don't want to use it, I mean, either case, if you have some call forwarding rules, if a user is busy, if they don't answer within a certain amount of time, if internet connection is down, or maybe just any call that comes in, you can choose where those calls go. In all those cases, you can say either go to voicemail or you could forward them to a contact, an extension, or an external phone number. So you can type in your phone number in here. So there's a lot of ways you can just send that call to your personal phone. Or normally, I mean, I would just want people to use the cell phone application. It's very straightforward and easy, but it keeps things separate. So because when you forward the call to your personal phone number, it's not going to show as a work phone call. It will just show as the contact who's calling, essentially. And when you make a call back to them, it will give out your personal phone number again. And what we can do here is you can mask caller's phone number. So instead of Bilbo showing his direct dial phone number, now I'm going to show the main company number and the company name for that matter if I wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
You can set up schedules at an individual level as well. So Monday to Friday, if I get a call, 8 to 5, I'll take the calls. After 5, send them somewhere else. Ring multiple people in the company at the same time if you wanted, like my receptionist and let's say AJ here. If they answer, great. If they don't answer, if everyone is busy, maybe send the call to voicemail or anywhere else in the system. And then you can create groups. So you can set up, let's say, a sales team where I have all my sales agents or accounting agents, for example, in this one team. So when the call comes in and they press 2 for accounting, it rings this group. You can choose if it rings everyone at the same time or one by one, or you can choose how long their phone rings. Should it ring someone even if they're busy on the call, and what shows on their screen. So ring group name in this case would show them someone pressed 2 for sales, which is what they'll see on the screen. So they know why they're receiving a call, and they will also see the caller's number or the contact if they have it stored to see who's calling.
And with that ring pattern, there was like a sequential or like an order, and then that would be prioritized by whoever's on top in the member list, right?
Yeah, so, and you're just dragging.
Bilbo would be first. Well, now Mary. Bilbo would be first now, then Mary, then Frodo, then Sam. So if it can't get in touch with any of those people, it'll just keep moving down the list.
That's right. And then choosing how long their phone rings is a good important thing here. At the same time, you have another pattern, which is round robin, in which case whoever has not answered the call in the longest time gets the next phone call, sort of an anti-Slack mechanism here. But yeah. And you have metrics on all of these, so you can see how many calls someone got from the sales group and so on. But we are out of time here. I know there's a lot I can show. From what we have seen so far, does this look okay? Do you think this has what your system might need in a phone system?
I think in the phone system, I mean, this would be a massive, massive upgrade for us. This would be huge. And again, in our current working situation where we're working remotely, it would be great to be able to have everybody still have work phone numbers from home. And obviously we're all working from our cell phones anyway. So making that switch to, hey, now your cell phone is being used for work is not a big switch because they're already doing it. I think where we definitely want to continue to look is around the video conferencing stuff. Because if we could have one, I'm kind of looking here, I'll bring an analogy from your contacts. If I could have one system to rule them all, where all of our communication systems are going through one place, that would be great. So it looks like you've got a lot of really awesome tools for internal, for sure. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for external. But it's definitely something that I want to continue to look in, because our needs are pretty, like I said, our accessibility needs are pretty unique in the groups that we serve, the people that we serve. So, but I think there's definitely a lot for Aaron and I to talk about on this.
Yeah, certainly. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kunal, for doing this for us. And John or Aaron, if you guys need a follow up, we could always get another demo scheduled since we kind of ran out of time this time around.
Yeah, no problem. We'll follow up on that and let you know.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you again, gentlemen, for your time this morning, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
In a couple minutes.
Bye-bye.